What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video.
Yeah. I'm speaking truth from the cell to the streets. Did 24 years, now I'm finally free. H strong standing, no chains on me. Ex-con, ex-gang, but my soul found peace. Taught by the struggle, pain made me wise. I seen homies fall, seen mothers cry. Now I'm here to teach what the system denies. From the darkness I rose, Tupac in my eyes. This channel ain't clout, it's the scars I show. Life lessons in these rhymes so the young ones know. Dubs on the mic, watch the wisdom grow. If you walk through the fire, let your spirit glow.
So this morning, somebody brought it to my attention that apparently there's some friction or there's some discussion about the Mexican OT using the N-word. Now, I don't know Texas. I've never been to Texas. I get a gang of love and support from Texas. They're always in my live showing love and in the comments showing love. I looked and I ran across an interview. I think it was on, let me see. I wrote Real Tune TV, I think it's called. And they were interviewing a guy by the name of OG Percy. I've heard that name occasionally. I guess he's a figure out there. I don't know if he's from Hoover, wherever he's from, but apparently he's a figure. I think he's a Crip out there in Texas, right? And he went on this tangent. He went on this ramble about Mexicans in Texas using the N-word. Now, being from over here, from Southern California, we've always been told, we've always believed and thought that in Texas, the Mexicans and the blacks are really cool with each other, similar to what we have in Northern California, right? And so I've always thought, well, then if they're similar to Northern California, then there is going to be beefs here and there, right? And that's one of the best kept secrets in California when people like to say all the Mexicans in Southern California are racist and Northern California were cool. When I've done time with dudes from Northern California and I know that there are neighborhoods that beef with each other, black and Mexican, right? Now, hearing this guy OG Percy talk, he said something, first of all, that I want to bring up. And I guess it's a Texas thing because I actually stopped listening to Scarface, the rapper Scarface, because he used the same word when referring to Mexicans. This dude, OG Percy, said, you got Mexicans from El Paso. He said, and then you got Houstons. And he said, and then you got wetbacks. Scarface used the same word in a song and got me to stop listening to him. I'm assuming Mexicans in Texas use that word to describe paisas. And that just, to me, blew my mind. I was like, wow, he said the word, that easy, and no one in that room was like, whoa. That means it's natural. That word is our N-word. And it's used that freely. Anyways, I don't believe, and it's, look, I'm not black, obviously, right? I don't believe anybody should be using that word. That word is not a term of endearment. People like to say, well, that's the way I use it. That's like saying, hey, what's up, dog? What's up, my dog? What's up, homie? And meanwhile, the people that created that word are laughing at people calling themselves something that has so much hatred, murder, mayhem behind it. I'm sure I'm going to hear from my Texas supporters in the chat, and I want to hear from them. This N-word thing has gotten so out of hand. I'm talking about when I play Call of Duty, I will hear white dudes saying that. And it's clear from their vernacular, the way they say it, that they're white, that they're not black. I hear Mexicans saying it. And it sounds ridiculous to me. I honestly wish that the blacks, when this whole phase started with people that were not black using that word, I wish the blacks would have got off on them every time, every instance, on the spot, win or lose, bust them in the mouth. Because it sounds ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. When someone that is not black uses that word to me, I'm an older dude, I get it. It looks ridiculous to me. I don't even want to be around them. And I get it. You know, people are going to say, well, you don't understand. It's a different time. And you're right. I don't understand. And it is a different time. But I don't need to fit in with those times. Should the Mexican OT be able to use that word? I don't think so. I'm not from Texas. And that's what he said. His actual words were, what you going to do about it? His words were, what is anybody going to do about it? I grew up with blacks. He's saying he ate with blacks. He did good things with them. He did bad things with them. And he says those are his people. It's his family. And it's so weird to me that such a hateful word, people think that if you can just use it, that means you got love for the people. I don't know, man. I don't know. It seems like it's going to get worse and worse. So many people use that word now. And OG Percy said in prison, he found out Mexicans were racist. I was like, what? That one interview revealed a lot to me in regards to Texas, right? I don't know. I highly doubt that Mexican OT is going to get any backlash from this. But I do wish that, and not Mexican OT and like him personally, but I wish the blacks would make a push to where they don't want to hear anybody using that word, including their own. But with no acts of violence, just a conversation that the blacks would let it be known through, whatever platforms, like, hey, man, that it ain't cool. It ain't cool. And I've talked about this on more than one occasion. I have done time with blacks that did not want that word used around them, and they didn't want to be referred to as that. And I the first one I ever met, two of them, but the first one I ever met was in YA. I met two in YA, two blacks that were like that were super pro-black at that young age and hated that word. One of them was a big dude. They used to call him Brother Man. The other one's name was his last name. He was from the Bay Area. His last name was Blackman, but he used to always pronounce it Black Man. And these dudes were so into their roots and their history that they refused to use that word and didn't want to be called that. I think people need to get more into their roots and understanding the words that they're using. And then take pride in their ethnicity, their culture, what they created. And get rid of some shit like that, man. It is not a term of endearment whatsoever. And it's really gotten out of hand when you got Middle Americans using that word freely. And I noticed they always start off with it with an A on the end, and then they turn it into the ER at the end in an instant when they get upset. I see it all the time on Call of Duty. They start out, the beginning of the game, it's an A on the end. By the end of the game, they cannot stop saying it, and it's got the ER on the end. Well, he was made to feel comfortable saying the first one. Why wouldn't he be scared to say the second one? But that's my 2 cents on this, man. That's my video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out of here.
Welcome to Vario Liquors, home of the coldest beer in the 209. Chilled to a perfect 32 degrees. From mix-and-go drink kits to both classic and exotic spirits, we've got something for everyone. Visit us at 1870 Countryside Drive, Turlock, California. Catch you at the Vario.